The world watched with bated breath as the night sky over the Middle East was suddenly ablaze, filled with streaks of light, a spectacle that was both terrifying and mesmerizing. This wasn't a meteor shower, a natural wonder, but a major, meticulously planned military operation unfolding in real time. Iran initiated a large-scale assault, launching a massive wave of drones and missiles directly against Israel, a move that shattered previous norms. This act marked a dangerous and unprecedented escalation in the already tense, long-standing conflict between the two nations, pushing the region closer to the brink. For the first time in their history of conflict, Iran launched an attack from its own soil, directly targeting Israeli territory. This bold move signified a dramatic shift, moving their long-standing shadow war, fought through proxies and covert operations, into the open arena of direct confrontation. This direct attack was presented as a retaliatory response to a suspected Israeli airstrike on Iran's consulate in Damascus, Syria. The consulate strike resulted in the deaths of several senior Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) officials, deeply angering Tehran. Tehran interpreted the consulate strike as a blatant attack on its sovereignty, a violation of international norms and a direct challenge to its authority. In the aftermath, Iranian leaders issued strong statements, vowing a swift and decisive military retaliation to restore deterrence. The scale and scope of Iran's retaliatory attack were unprecedented in the history of the conflict. Hundreds of drones and missiles were launched in a carefully coordinated assault designed to overwhelm Israeli defenses. A primary objective of the attack appeared to be to saturate and overwhelm Israel's sophisticated air defense systems, including the Iron Dome. The intent was to penetrate these defenses and inflict significant damage on strategic targets within Israel. As the attack unfolded, the world held its breath, watching with intense concern and anticipation. The effectiveness of Israel's famed multi-layered defenses was put to the ultimate test, with the world waiting anxiously to see if they would hold against such a massive barrage. In the past, Iran had largely relied on proxy forces, such as Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen, to carry out attacks against Israel. This strategy allowed Tehran to maintain a degree of plausible deniability, obscuring its direct involvement in the conflict. However, by directly attacking Israel from its own territory, Iran crossed a significant red line, signaling a new and dangerous phase in the conflict. This decision to directly engage carried substantial risks, including the potential for a full-scale war with devastating consequences for the entire region. This dramatic shift in strategy has fundamentally altered the established rules of engagement and power dynamics in the Middle East. The unprecedented attack raises a number of urgent and critical questions that demand immediate attention. Will this dangerous escalation spiral into an all-out regional war? Or can diplomacy and international mediation prevail to de-escalate the situation? The answers to these pressing questions will undoubtedly shape the future of Middle Eastern security and stability for years to come. The entire region is now on high alert, bracing for potential further escalation and retaliatory actions. The threat of further escalation looms large, with both sides potentially preparing for additional military actions, raising tensions to a fever pitch. The world is watching closely, monitoring every development with a sense of profound unease. The international community is hoping for restraint and de-escalation, but simultaneously preparing for the worst-case scenario, a descent into wider conflict. The attack from Iran unfolded with a calculated intensity, beginning with a massive wave of over 300 projectiles launched towards Israel. The first wave consisted of drones, followed by cruise missiles, and finally, the more potent ballistic missiles. The strategy was clear. The slower Shahed drones were intentionally launched first, acting as a decoy to saturate and deplete Israel's air defense interceptors. This initial wave was then followed by faster and far more destructive missiles, designed to penetrate any remaining defenses. As the attack unfolded, airspace across Iraq, Jordan, and Israel was immediately closed to all civilian air traffic. The skies became a dangerous theater as the projectiles crossed the region, their paths visible on tracking systems worldwide. This sudden closure created a tense and surreal atmosphere, grounding countless flights and leaving airports eerily empty. The world watched with bated breath, tracking the attack in real time through news reports and online feeds. Every eye was glued to the screens, watching the drone swarm slowly inch its way toward Israel. Despite the sheer scale and intensity of the assault, Israel's multi-layered air defenses, including the renowned Iron Dome, achieved a remarkable feat, intercepting 99% of the incoming threats. In the aftermath, only minor damage was reported at Nevatim Air Base, a testament to the effectiveness of the defense systems. Tragically, one serious injury occurred as a result of falling shrapnel, highlighting the ever-present dangers of such attacks. The overwhelming success in neutralizing the attack was not solely Israel's achievement, but rather the result of a coordinated and robust international effort. Key allies including the US, UK, France and Jordan all played a critical role in helping to intercept and neutralize drones and missiles before they could reach Israeli territory. In a display of Allied strength, American and British jets actively engaged and shot down dozens of projectiles while they were still over the airspace of Iraq and Syria. Demonstrating their commitment to regional security, Jordan's Air Force played a crucial role, proactively defending its own airspace and contributing significantly to the overall regional stability. This collaborative defense effort showcased the strength and effectiveness of a powerful coalition, united in its commitment to containing Iranian aggression and safeguarding regional security. The animosity between Iran and Israel dates back to the 1979 Iranian Revolution. Before then, Iran and Israel had a neutral relationship, but the new Islamic Republic adopted a fiercely anti-Israel stance. Since then, both nations have engaged in a shadow war, covert operations, assassinations and cyber attacks. Iran built a network of proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas to attack Israel indirectly. Israel has countered with sabotage, targeted assassinations, and hundreds of airstrikes against Iranian assets in Syria. The recent Israeli strike on Iran's consulate in Damascus, killing a top IRGC commander, was a major escalation. Iran saw this as a direct attack on its sovereignty, compelling it to respond openly. The subsequent missile barrage signaled that the era of deniable proxy warfare may be over. Now both sides face the risks of direct confrontation. Drones have revolutionized modern warfare, offering surveillance and precision strikes at a fraction of the cost of traditional aircraft. Their affordability allows even smaller nations and militias to field large fleets, projecting power in new ways. Iran's investment in kamikaze drones like the Shahed 136 enables massed attacks designed to overwhelm defenses. The use of drones lowers the political threshold for military action, as there's no risk to pilots. This can lead to more frequent, low-grade conflicts and blurs the line between war and peace. Iran's attack on Israel was about quantity, not sophistication. Hundreds of drones and missiles launched in a saturation attack. Israel's multi-layered defenses held, but the challenge of countering cheap, massed drone swarms is growing. The future of warfare may be defined by the ability to deploy and defend against autonomous systems at scale. The recent attack is a stark preview of what's to come. Israel's response to the unprecedented aerial assault was a showcase, a real-time demonstration of its advanced capabilities. Of defensive coordination and technology, a testament to years of investment and strategic planning. The world watched as Israel activated its layered defenses. Its multi-layered air defense, a complex network designed to neutralize threats at various altitudes. Iron Dome, the first line of defense. David's Sling, designed for medium-range threats, and Arrow systems, the long-range interceptors, intercepted nearly all incoming threats, a remarkable feat of engineering and operational effectiveness. Advanced intelligence warnings, gathered from multiple sources, allowed Israel and its allies to prepare, coordinating their responses in real time, positioning assets and scrambling jets to patrol the skies and provide additional layers of security. The US, a key ally, UK and France contributed to the defense, showcasing the strength of international cooperation in the face of aggression. Intercepting projectiles before they reached Israeli airspace, further diminishing the impact of the attack. Israel's leadership projected calm, addressing the nation with reassurance and resolve, framing the event as a strategic victory, highlighting the effectiveness of its defense systems, and a testament to its military superiority, reinforcing its position as a regional power. The War Cabinet faced a dilemma, a critical decision point with far-reaching consequences. Retaliate forcefully, sending a clear message of deterrence, or heed international calls for restraint, prioritizing de-escalation and diplomatic solutions. President Biden urged Israel not to escalate, emphasizing the need for a measured response, emphasizing the importance of avoiding a regional war, a conflict that could engulf the entire Middle East. Israel's challenge was to respond, carefully calibrating its actions in a way that restored deterrence, re-establishing its security posture, without triggering a wider conflict. a delicate balancing act with profound implications. The world watched with bated breath to see if Israel would choose measured retaliation, a calculated response designed to send a message, or risk a catastrophic escalation, a scenario that could destabilize the entire region. The successful defense shifted the narrative, altering perceptions of Israel's vulnerability, from vulnerability to strength, showcasing its advanced military capabilities. The next move would define the region's stability, shaping the geopolitical landscape for years to come. The Iranian attack sent shockwaves across the Middle East, forcing neighbors to react. Jordan shot down dozens of projectiles over its territory, earning praise from the West but criticism from Iran. Saudi Arabia and the UAE called for restraint, wary of being drawn into a wider conflict that could threaten their economies and security. Iraq and Syria, where Iran wields influence, closed their airspace but couldn't stop the transit of drones and missiles. Hezbollah in Lebanon praised Iran's attack, maintaining its own low-level conflict with Israel. The event exposed deep regional divisions and forced countries to reassess their security strategies. Many Arab states saw the value of security partnerships with the US, and increasingly, with Israel. The attack may accelerate new alliances aimed at countering Iranian power. The international community responded with urgent calls for calm. President Biden condemned Iran's attack but made clear the US would not support an Israeli counterstrike. The UK and France and Germany echoed the call for restraint, with British jets participating in the defense. The G7 convened to discuss sanctions targeting Iran's drone and missile programs. The UN Security Council held an emergency session, but divisions limited decisive action. Even China and Russia urged restraint, wary of a wider war. The global consensus: Iran's attack was reckless, but no one wants a full-scale conflict. The world is united in seeking to prevent a catastrophic regional war. The aftermath leaves the Middle East in a fragile peace. Israel's limited retaliatory strike on an Iranian airbase signaled restraint, offering an off-ramp from escalation. Iran demonstrated its willingness to strike, but the failure to penetrate Israel's defenses exposed its military limits. The crisis has strengthened quiet alliances between Israel and moderate Arab states, united by a shared interest in containing Iran. The US will play a key role in fostering regional cooperation and stability. Fundamental issues remain unresolved: Iran's nuclear ambitions, proxy militias, and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The recent escalation is a reminder of how quickly shadow wars can erupt into open conflict. The coming months will determine whether the region steps back from the brink or slides toward a wider war.